After catching someone's attention, the first thing that's necessary might be to point out how Donald Hoffman says we made a rookie mistake when we thought the world was the way it appears when we look out through our eyes. As if we see out through our eyes like windows. We don't. We have representations of things that don't look anything like those things. Dr. Hoffman uses the analogy with an icon on the desktop. The icon for Microsoft Word doesn't look anything like the computer program Microsoft Word. The way it looks to us is it gives us only as much information as we need in order to do whatever we need to do. It doesn't weigh us down with extra information. And so Dr. Kastrup uses the same metaphor as Dr. Hoffman, the airplane dashboard. It's nighttime, it's raining, and they can't look out the windows at all, but they can see what's going on with all of the gauges that show them what's happening outside the plane. But the gauges don't look anything like what's happening outside the plane. That's why we can't expect our senses to show us reality the way it actually is. Not if materialism is true, not if physical matter evolved into me and you, and then the experiencer was a byproduct. If that's the case, and it's not, but if it was, then we would have to expect that we don't perceive reality in anything approximating the way it actually is. If that's not clear yet, just think about being a barnacle or a naked mole rat or any other kind of critter, jellyfish, that can't perceive as much of reality as you and I perceive, or there's a lot of things that we can perceive that they can't perceive. And then you think about things that are going on all around us that we can't perceive. What, infrared, there's a whole list of electromagnet. There's a lot of things going on all around us, radio waves, plenty of things happening that we can't perceive because we don't have the sensory apparatus for it. So that should put it in perspective. There are lots of parts of reality we can't perceive because we don't have the sensory organs to perceive them. And then when we do perceive something with these 5 sensory organs that we have, we don't perceive things directly as they actually are. We get a representation of them. So we need a name for this insight that we get from Dr. Hoffman. But for now, I'll just call it the case against reality. It's when you realize something that, like I said, he calls it a rookie mistake, thinking that we perceive reality the way it actually is. When somebody begins to appreciate the coolness of this insight from Dr. Hoffman, then the next place to go is to Dr. Chalmers. David Chalmers is like, hey, check it out, y'all. There's no explanation for how consciousness emerged.